Hey everybody, it's Jang here with a Lego City set review. This is set number 4645. 551 pieces for this one. This came out in 2011 and it was called simply Harbor. It's part of the Harbor series or sub-series within City, and this one is just called Harbor, and that's it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the components of this. There are quite a number of them. First off, minifigures. Always got to start with the minifigures. This right here is a ship's captain. He is the guy who pilots the boat, and you can see he's got the little anchor logo on his shirt pocket, and he has a walkie-talkie that he carries around for communicating to shore, and he's got a captain, I guess that's a captain's cap, it's also a police cap. There is a guy on the shore who is involved with operating the truck, which we'll see in a minute, and you can see what his color scheme is. We also have a crane operator, all orange, pretty typical public works type of dude. Orange all the way around, pretty generic. It's something that we've seen quite a bit. And then the fisherman just off on the side, just minding his business, just sitting off on a pier or standing off on a pier, just fishing, you know, in the shipping channel, right on the side. So he's got his fishing pole, and he's just a regular guy. Okay, that takes care of the minifigures, 4 of them in total. Since the ship is front and center here, I'll have a look at that next and leave the actual harbor for last, since this is the harbor set. Focus on that the most. The ship, pretty large in size. It's not the largest one that they've made, but pretty big, and nice green color scheme all the way throughout, carried into some of the details up here. It has 2 holds, completely separate from each other, and this is intended to be a grain carrying ship, a grain carrying freighter. So these pieces in tan represent grain. You've got an open empty hold back here. This is a floating unitary hull, so the whole thing will float on the water, and you can take the top part off. If you submerge it all the way, you can get it to fill up with water on the inside, but you can pull the top off and just spill the water out if you do manage to get water inside of there. Looking at the superstructure a little bit more, you can see you've got a nice little tower, horn, antenna, and you got a smokestack back here. Oops, just knocked off part of my pier. Back on, there we go. Smokestack here, a little grate over the top, secondary little area for holding things back here. I would think that you would put like a small dinghy back there for emergencies. I very much like the look of this thing from the front, but it being open on the side is very odd to me, and I wish that they had, instead of going so crazy with the different angles here with this inverted wedge piece or the two-way slope, wish that they had instead just covered up the side. There's plenty of room for it. This top piece overhangs by 1, so they could have sealed off the side. This is flat. I think that would have been a better look, a more complete, more finished look. But there's one nice thing here, is that they did put in this feature that allows you to open this up, and there's a radar dish. Can't really see it that well here, but there's not a radar dish, but a radar readout screen here, and there's a very simplified version of a modern ship's wheel there. So you can put your guy in there, and a little clip for his walkie-talkie when he's not using that, when he's actually operating the controls of the ship. So I think that pretty much takes care of this one. It looks pretty good for the most part. Like I said, if I could change anything, I would just close up the side. Can't fit anything down here. They just kind of simulate a second deck, but it's pretty shallow, really. There's not much room to put stuff in there. It's definitely not enough room to put minifigures. Okay, next thing, got this truck here. So this is a tipper bed truck, and this is intended to be something that you would load grain onto, coming off the or coming out of the ship, and then you would load them onto this. I like the look of this truck very much. It looks like a proper medium-duty cab. They use this I believe they consider it to be a panel piece that's rounded around the back, that just made it look a little bit smaller, a little bit sleeker, more modern. Very nice, tiny little touch. Looks pretty good from the front. They've got a white base that they use down here. There's no actual seat, but it doesn't need one. Keeps everything down pretty low, so it keeps it from looking like a large semi-truck cab. Got a nice rounded bumper on here. The bed section is not very deep, but it will carry the pieces that they intended to be used with this set. And like I said, it is a tipper bed, so the whole thing will tip, and these will dump out. Even when that's up, it's pretty nicely covered underneath there. So this is a good truck. I think that this is very appropriate and well done for this set. Now let's move on to the harbor on the whole. And obviously this is dominated by the crane. The crane is kind of the major feature. Gosh, I have to zoom out so much in order to get all of this into frame. These are base plate pieces. They are not just regular plate pieces. This is a plate piece right here, so it's thicker. Got enough of kind of a little roadway to go in there. Got a little pier off here on the side. Nice little light. And then the pier is where your fisherman is just doing his fishing. Got a little indicator at the end with a light that indicates the one side of a channel for navigation. Got some more little pieces on here. A little fuel can with a nozzle on the top. Got a rack for some tools for cleaning stuff up as some of the grain might fall off during the process of loading and unloading. So those are for cleanup. Do have a garbage can. Got another storage bin. It is a harbor, so there have to be rats around and various vermin, and there's a rat. You've got a hand truck or dolly right here for moving around the either the garbage can or the fuel can. And there's an office here is what this is supposed to be, but there's nothing inside of it. It's completely empty. These sides are made out of just that's one piece, that's one piece, that's one piece, one piece back here behind here. Large panel pieces. I personally would have preferred to see a brick build there rather than just cheating with a big old panel. Maybe it's for simplicity's sake for younger kids, although there are plenty of other things that are complicated to build on this. I think that should have been brick built instead of going with the small number. Coming around here, this is a conveyor belt with a hopper. It's intended to be used by dumping your material up here into this hopper, and then you turn either of these knobs to move the material off onto the truck. So this slips a little bit. I don't know why it had to do like that, but this does slip a little bit in here. You can see it's not moving the conveyor belts quite as fast as I'm turning this, but it's okay. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be used with too much force. But that's the intent of that. You load stuff into here, and then it will move it forward, and you would presumably have your truck under here. And I'll just go ahead and demonstrate it. I should just start it that way. You would drop some things in here from the crane and turn this, and you can see they just move along the conveyor belt until eventually they fall off the end. Whoops, that was my fault. Fall off the end into the truck like so. And it works. It works really well, actually. So that's a good thing. That's set up pretty well. And then finally, on top of this, they have the crane. It's a pretty good looking crane. They've shown this exact style of crane in the background of a number of sets, a number of city and town sets on the box art over the course of a number of years, and this is one of the more accurate representations of what they're showing on the box art of these many different sets. This crane works really well. It rotates around. It can extend forward and back like so. You can see it's extended out. Actually, let's see if I can get this into a good spot. Here it's extended out. Here it's brought up in closer. That is magnificent. That is great. That works out really well. See, it's kind of moving the top a little bit, but that's okay. If you're a little bit more careful, you can prevent that from happening. But interestingly, this does work together with the canopy. If you angle it just right, you can get the canopy to open up quite a bit like so, without having to move anything out of the way. This is very slick. I do like the function of the crane. I like the look of it, but I think it could have looked better, but I really just can't complain about it. It works so well, and especially this. I learned something here. This was new to me. The spool, normally with winches in Lego, the spool will go in a direction where the cord or the string goes around this way or around this way and then out. You know, it's just, it wraps and then comes out. But here they actually turned it sideways, which allowed them to kind of bury it inside there in just a very small, narrow little passageway in between. And you can see you actually turn this way and it still works just as well. You do thread through modified plate piece here with the round piece with a hole, Technic pin sized hole, but this is very smooth. It's in a good place. It's really easy to use. This is a good design. Quite a number of stickers. There are two different panels on the sides here with stickers also. Stickers going along here, sticker here, sticker back here, sticker here. Lots of stickers, but I think they look pretty good though. This one's not really necessary, but it's a nice guide for younger kids. And a couple of faux lights here, and this end piece here, grabber bucket, is spring loaded and can open up and grab stuff. These work pretty well. These have been around for decades now, I think. But anyway, enough about the crane. I like it quite a lot. But that pretty much wraps things up for this entire set. Again, released in 2011. I did find this at a local store, at a local Toys R Us. So they still are on shelves some places, and you can still find them new in box online pretty easily. This was originally a $90 set. It's definitely one of those that I consider to be a play set more than just a regular plain standalone set. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with this, a lot of stuff going on with it, a lot of components. I mean, you've got a truck that you can drive around. You've got this guy who's fishing, and you know, it's just kind of faux fishing. You've got a nice big ship, and kids that like water craft should enjoy that, and you can take it into the bathtub. However, you do want to be careful with these small pieces, especially against many different common bathroom color schemes. You may lose some of those or drop some of them into the water and not notice them. You've got to be careful not to flush those or drain those down the drain. But overall, it should be pretty durable in general. This top piece, you can easily get a lot of leverage on it as far as playing is concerned, so that can break off, but it's very easy to see. Otherwise, you know, fairly sturdy build. You don't want to have the crane or the harbor set next to water, probably for most situations. But it's nice to have a boat that you can just take into the bathtub or even into a small pool and play around with. And like I said, good looking truck, great working train. Conveyor belt is another thing to play around with. $90 as usual with Lego stuff, a little bit on the steep side, but compared to other sets, just looking at the value within the Lego family of toys in general, I think it's very good, and I think this is a really good set. I'm very happy to have it, and I'm looking forward to using some of these elements and some of the things that I learned from this build in my own city, and I'll have to repurpose the ship base, probably come up with something that I like a little bit better, and a little bit more detail for my liking, but in general, this is good stuff. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I enjoyed this very much, and I hope you enjoyed it too. And I'll be talking to you again soon in the next video.